And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we are going to be spies, or one of us is going to be the spy, the rest of us are just going to actually be where we're supposed to be. We might be hanging out at the beach, and people might be trying to infiltrate our little group there. We might be at the casino, or things like that. But anyway, when we are at those places, we're trying to blend in. It's a social deduction party game from Hobby World that plays from, it says 3 to 8 players. Let's take a look. It says it plays also in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, things like that. I'm going to show you how this game's played, and I will see you on the other side. Spyfall comes with 26 little baggies where one deck of 8 cards goes into each of these bags. Now you shuffle them up like this and you pull one out and you start a round. So after we've taken the one bag, we'll be very careful to take this out without showing anybody the cards. And some people put the spy card on the top, some people put it on the bottom. It doesn't much matter as long as you know where it's at. So we have one spy card. The rest of these cards are all going to be at an identical location. In this case, we are in a submarine. Now they'll all say submarine. Some of them they'll all have different little roles here that we'll get into later: radio operator and electrical officer and navigator. But essentially there's all this. So we have one spy. Let's say we're playing with 6 players. So we have 1 player, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These would kind of go out of the game. We would take all these and we would shuffle them up and we would deal them out accordingly. So what's going to happen is one player is going to get stuck with the spy, and all they will see obviously is the spy card. They won't know where they are. The rest of us will all look at our card here secretly, and we will see that we are in the submarine. So the cards have been dealt out. Let's say this person was the dealer. They get to ask a question to anybody else. And they might look at this person over here and say, hey, what's your favorite color? And you're listening. So here's the key of the game, is that since there's only one spy, this person, the rest of them know that they're at the submarine. The spy has no idea where everybody is. You're asking questions to try to get information, try to see if this person, for example, if I'm asking this person a question, you're trying to find out if they know where they're at. And you can ask them as any question you want. Now, when you answer the question, you want to be vague enough that the spy doesn't figure out where we are, but you want to give a clever enough clue that everybody else that is in the submarine would understand where they are. So this person might say to this person, man, how long have we been here? And this person might go, well, I am getting homesick. Then this person can ask anybody except the person that just asked them a question. This person might ask this person, say, hey, what time did we have to get up this morning? And this person might say, 0800. And then this person might ask this person, and he might go, what do you think of the boss today? And this person might go, yeah, he couldn't make up his mind today. He was really wavering against different ideas today. Using the wavering as like a clue to say, hey, there's waves, we're in a submarine, something clever like that. This person might ask this person a question who's a spy. This person has no idea where they are, but they're trying to figure out where they are. This person might say, what about the, hey man, when are we getting the new uniforms? And this guy might not know what to say. Now, at any point in the game, anybody can stop the game and accuse someone of being the spy. This person goes, baloney, I think this guy's the spy, let's stop. If every other person except the spy says yes, the round stops, and this person flips over his card. If it indeed was the spy, all the other people get a point and the round ends. Now granted, the rounds are 8 minutes long. They start at 8 minutes. You can do them as long as you want, but they recommend 8 minutes so they can get stopped, and this person would have lost. Now, if this person said, hold on, I think this guy's the spy. Now, if everyone agrees and this guy flips over and he's not the spy wins, gets 2 points for winning, and another 2 points for having everybody go against someone who's not the spy. So he would have gotten 4 points that round. Now, if this person says, stop, I think this guy's the spy, and if even one of these people says, nope, I don't believe you, I'm not ready to say that yet, the round continues. Each person can stop the round 1 time. I did talk to the publisher. It's not obvious in the rules about that, but that is what they've told me specifically. The spy can also stop the round and accuse somebody else to try to cast blame on someone else, try to get everybody to blame somebody else. Also, before anybody has stopped it, anybody other than the spy has stopped it, they can stop, reveal, and say, hold on, I think we're at the submarine. And then at that point, everybody pulls it over. If he's right, he's gonna get 4 points for winning. Two for just winning on its own, and 2 for guessing the location. If he stops and flips it over and goes, I think we're at the pirate ship, well, the round ends again, and this time we flip it over, and he's wrong. Anytime that non-spy wins, they always get 1 point. Now, if this spy accuses this spy and everybody's in mid-round and everybody agrees, and it is the spy, all these guys get 1 point. The person who actually stopped the round and accused them gets an additional point. So this guy would get 2 points. That's pretty much how you play Spyfall. Let's look at the different locations there. Also, again, the other way it can end is if it doesn't end early. At the end of the 8th round, 8th minute, it stops. At that point, everybody discusses who they think the spy is, and at this point, they can discuss why they think so. They can say, oh, he answered this to that. That was kind of weird. Where when you stop the game in the middle of the game and this person's accusing this one, there's no talking. There's just yes or no. But at the end of the 8 minutes, everybody can discuss everything they heard to really try to put it out. And again, the same thing. If everybody accuses the spy loses. Otherwise, the spy wins. And so let's check out and you basically play 5 rounds, and whoever has the biggest score at the end wins. Now let's check out some of these locations. Now this is actually the middle of the rule book. It shows all the different places where you could be at. Airplane, bank, beach, circus tent, corporate party, Crusader Army, casino, day spa, embassy, hospital, hotel, military base, movie studio, ocean liner, passenger train, pirate ship, polar station, police station, restaurant, school, service station, space station, submarine, supermarket, theater, university. Those are all the places. Now you leave this out and people are kind of looking at it. They're studying it before the game starts, and they're kind of looking at it during the middle of the game. The rules say don't look at it during the game because it will make you seem like a spy, but I don't agree with that because a lot of times people are looking there because they want to give a clue, but they want to see if it could possibly go with something else. So we leave this out and people are looking at it during the game. Now again, here there are different roles: electrical officer, let's see, radio officer, sonar operator, and you know, it says it recommends you using these roles. I found that they actually tend to make you think you don't know what you're talking about sometimes, but it can give you an out. If someone asks you a question, you can kind of think of that role and it might give you an idea to go down, so it can help, although I don't usually use it a whole lot, but some people like it, some people don't. I tend to not. I like to just kind of make up my own stuff. And again, you play till 8 minutes or one of those rounds stop, and at the end of the 5th round, whoever has the most points is the winner. Wow, I love social deduction games, and this game is amazing. I have played it a ton of times now, and I find myself in the middle of the game, almost every game, slamming my hands on the table going, I love this game is so awesome, and people are just laughing. It's just brilliant. When I first heard this, I was absolutely fascinated by even the idea of the game. But when you hear things like that, sometimes they don't pan out. This one did. It's so fun. It's really hard on the spy, man. And when you get asked a question, you're a spy, and you're just trying to blend in, and you just got to act confident and say an answer, and maybe you're on the right track, or maybe whatever. You've got that pressure on you, so it's a very different feeling when you're the spy under a lot of pressure versus when you're not. You're trying to pour it on and trying to figure out who it is and ask the questions in the group. You get this group think and this meta thing going on where everyone's trying to like listen to what people are saying and slowly narrowing it down to who's possibly the spy. And you have a lot of these callbacks that come back from round to round where you hear a funny question that has nothing to do with that from the spy, and then later on that same question comes up by someone else, and you have all these callbacks. There's like a lot of meta things that can happen in this game as well. But honestly, it is probably my favorite party game, maybe even ever. I mean, this game is awesome. It's amazing. It doesn't have US distribution yet. I'm hoping it will sometime soon. Hobby World is out of Russia, I believe. They're the ones that brought it to Hollywood last year, and it came over about 6 months after it came out. So I'm assuming this will come out in 2015. Hopefully early. The earlier the better. But man, when you're looking at those locations, and you're trying to figure out where he's at. Now there are a couple little balancing issues. The rule book wasn't that great. I had to go back and forth, but I assume that will get fixed when it comes over. Also, it doesn't necessarily scare well. It plays 3 to 8. No need to play it with 3. It's awful. You don't even have a choice of who to ask the question to. It just goes in a circle. 4 is you can play it with 4. It's fine. It works fine. But 4 is very hard on the spy, because if you're a spy and you get the first question asked to you, it's really hard to blend in. You need some information to at least possibly have a chance of saying something right without just guessing. 4 works, but it's really hard on the spy. 5 and 6 tends to be, I think, for me, the sweet spot where it's balanced really well with the spies versus the people. 7 and 8 Now, makes it a lot easier on the spy to hide out because there's so many more people. The chances of them getting questions before you to gain some information is a lot more. I actually also suggested a variant with 2 spies where they get to see each other to the designer, and he's been testing that out like crazy and says it works pretty well. Might throw that in as well. But it doesn't matter. Also, this is more of an activity than a game. Sure, we keep score, sure we see who wins, but we've never cared who won at the end of this game. In fact, in half the games I played, we haven't even kept score. It doesn't matter. It's just the experience. It's the fun. It's the looking at people's eyes if they answer a question, looking at everyone's reactions, or when they say something that's clever to an answer, and you're the spy, and everyone else starts chuckling, and you start chuckling because you think it's funny, and you have no idea why it's funny. You're trying to blend in. Oh man, this game is amazing. It blows my mind. This is, if you like social deduction games, if you like Werewolf or Resistance or Mayday Mayday or One Night Ultimate Werewolf, if you like that social deduction element, no brainer. You gotta check out Spyfall.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.